You know how when you haven't done something for a while, someone will tell you that it's like riding a bike? There is something to be said for muscle memory, after all. You toss me my old high school euphonium and I can jump right back into the first chair. As theaters start reopening and holding auditions again, you may have found that your bike chain got a little rusty, or that the wheels are wobbling a little bit. Or maybe you're trying to get up the courage to climb on for the first time. In this labored metaphor, you see the bike is auditioning. And we're about to talk about it. Hello. Welcome to Derek Sings Poorly, the channel for theater kids of all ages and the people who tolerate them. I am the titular Derek, reminding you to press those like and subscribe buttons now while it's still fresh in your working memory. Audition. The word fills many with dread, and not just because they're Japanese horror fans. Especially if you're a newcomer to theater, the audition process can seem very daunting. And even for experienced thespians, it can feel like you're always being knocked back to square one, never moving up to the next tier of roles. That's why today we're going to look at a 4-step process that can better prepare you for your audition and take some of the fear out of the equation. First, know the play. If you're trying out for the average community or school production, this is a much easier task, as those will generally be shows that have some sort of online footprint. Depending on the notoriety of the play, you can find anything from reviews to cast albums to full film adaptations. Even the most obscure shows will usually have something you can learn from. Now, be careful with this. You're not looking to recreate any of the past performances that you find, so don't let yourself be influenced. You are merely doing your research to get a feel for the basics like plot, characters, relationships, the score, things of that nature. Now, this is a new, wholly original play. You may only have the audition notice itself to go from. Still try to dig a little. You might be able to find something else by the same playwright to get a feel for their writing style, or some sort of promotional material that could provide some plot snippets. Especially if you are a nervous auditioneer, the more you know heading in, the more comfortable you can be. Now that detective work continues as we look at tip number 2, know the group. Again, this is much easier with community and school theater programs where you can get a pretty clear timeline of the troupe's recent history. But either way, dig into the director, the crew, the cast. You're looking for patterns. Do the shows make room for lightness even in the most serious piece? How do they utilize their staging and costuming? When there's movement, how intricate is the choreography? Are there players who seem to fulfill similar roles each season? If this is your first time trying out for an established troupe, it can be useful to see where you might slot in. Now, this isn't to say that a director is necessarily playing favorites, but as we will discuss in the future, when the director reads the play, they visualize it, and they can't visualize a person they've never met yet. Your audition is inserting a new element into their company that they've never had before. Baby, you're a firework. Make them go ah ah ah. Thirdly, know yourself. Let me state upfront that I am a firm believer that there should be more diversity in casting, so never let things like body type or ethnicity fully limit the parts that you go for. Just as with television and movies, theater has struggled with moving past the idea of types. That you have a leading man type, you have a dorky friend type. That's where the idea of type casting comes from. You slot the same type of person into the same type of role every time. So I don't want to talk about finding your type. Instead, I want you to start thinking about your wheelhouse. Your type is a limitation. Your wheelhouse is your possibility. For example, I know that I am a moderately handsome baritone of average height with 0 muscle mass and so-so coordination. I am best at playing snarky, flustered, oblivious, or principled. So I take stock of my strengths, and I got my background information on the play. From here I move on to step 4, strategize. Here's an example. Let's say I see the notice that my community theater is doing Beauty and the Beast. I look at the play, I see it's the Disney version, so now I know the basics. Looking at my wheelhouse compared to the major parts available, I can be honest with myself that I lack the physicality to be a good Gaston or Beast. My personality isn't the best for Lumiere, but I know I could do something with Cogsworth or LeFou or Belle's father Maurice. Now, I look at the group that I'm going to be entering into, and I notice that there are a number of older gentlemen who regularly appear in productions. They would be more likely to take the parts of Maurice or Cogsworth. So now my strategy is to target LeFou. What does that mean for my audition? It means I'm selling myself for that part. I'm choosing my materials to promote myself for that part. When you're asked to bring in a monologue or a 16-bar audition piece, this is not the director wanting to know what your favorite song is or wanting you to prove how hip you are by choosing some obscure piece of work. This is the director trying to gauge your strength. So showcase that. For LeFou, I don't need a piece that demonstrates my vocal range. I need one that demonstrates my ability to sing in character or to banter. I need a monologue that matches the energy of the part I want. And if I know character relationships going in, then I know which other parts I need to demonstrate chemistry with. Now, I'm hoping to do some character studies in the near future that may help with this part of the preparation. Let me know in the comments which characters you'd like to see that done with first. Now, I know I threw a lot at you there, and we haven't even touched on everything yet. I just tossed an offhanded mention of vocal range up there, and it's a crucial part of your wheelhouse. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to share this with the Skrelter in your life, because next week we're defining vocal range. Peace, and all good.